What's going on YouTube? How is everybody today? Good to hear. So today we're going to talk about Prince Po's debut solo album, the Slickness, released in 2004 on Lex Records. Lex is this excellent underground kind of left field hip hop label. They release albums by artists like MF Doom, just had his new album off there. There's Tess, who's the MC that I really enjoy, Dr. Whodad, who makes cool instrumental music, DJ Signify, who just, well, he released this really kind of dark, kind of morbid almost a little album not too long ago. Also Neon Neon, this great kind of, I don't know, kind of like retro electro kind of shit on there. It's very 80s synthy kind of stuff on there. Neon Neon had a great album. But anyway, Prince Po used to be one half of this underground, this big underground rap duo from the 90s called Organised Konfusion with his friend Pharoahe Monch, who also went on to have a fairly successful solo career. They broke up in '97, and then 7 years later he came out with his debut on Lex Records, which is this one. He's from Queens, New York. This album is 13 songs, 46 minutes long, and it is pretty slick. The production is pretty left field. The beats are fairly minimal. They're fairly stripped back. They have a very kind of electro-tinged flavor to them. Sometimes they incorporate, string sections and stuff. For the most part, it just sounds like, very buzzy, very bassy. A couple of songs in here have some trunk rattling aspects to them for sure. Production is done by these pretty big underground producers like Madlib and Jel. J-Zone is a guy who I'd never heard before, but I looked him up on the internet. He actually has quite a bit of outputs, quite a few of releases under his own name, so he must be a somewhat talented guy. I don't know what songs he did on this album specifically, but the production on this album is very consistent, very enjoyable. I really liked it. Prince Po's MCing on here, for the most part, is pretty on point. He's got a really solid delivery. He's got a good flow. He never really chokes on his rhymes or anything like that. He's got some good stingers on here. He just kind of, I don't know, I just feel like he lacks a little bit of presence, lacks a little bit of fire. Like, he's not much of a showboater. He doesn't come out being overly aggressive or overly threatening, but I just feel like especially on tracks where there's another MC, because there's MCing by Doom, who kind of outshines Prince Po on his song, I Felt, Social Distortion, which is a really good track. It's probably my favorite track on the album. Like, Raekwon's on here. Gemini, who did an album with Danger Mouse called, I think it was called Prince of the Ghetto, and then J-Zone. It's also got J-Ro from the Alcoholics. But yeah, he's like, he's an above average rapper for sure. I just feel like he lacks a little bit of presence on this album. But the production and the way the album's made and the beats totally make this an above average hip hop album. Really enjoyable. Fun to listen to for sure. It's not overly complex. His rhyming's fairly simplistic. He's easy to follow. It's just not all that, I don't know, it doesn't conjure up all that mental imagery. He tries to do some social commentary about, the government and, keeping people down, poverty and stuff like that. And then he'll have songs about, meeting girls at the bar and asking girls to hold that and stuff like that. So, I don't know, it's kind of convoluted in that sense, but it's still a pretty fun album to listen to. It's a very minor gripe. Fairly, I enjoyed it. So, not much in the way of artwork here. This album actually is supposed to be some sort of picture frame. I don't know if you can see this, but these actually can pop out a little, and it's supposed to turn into these stands, and you can actually have this mounted somewhere, I guess. But yeah, it's got this nice little tactile frame on it, bronzed. Two different pictures of Prince Po you could have framed in there. Then it's got your typical Lex Records likes to do their track listing in kind of this very small, funny print font. And I always do weird angles and stuff like that, weird shapes. Makes it a little hard to read. I also hate it when albums don't have the tracks of the album on the back of the album. I mean, they put them inside here. 'Cause, I don't know, I just like to pick up a CD and see what it is, but I don't know. Also, this is very tactile too. It's got little bumps and ridges all over it. Pretty neat. Some pretty nice packaging there for Prince Po. But yeah, pretty good album, pretty underground. Nice little electro flavored beats, lots of bass, lots of strings, lots of buzzing, lots of cool little sounds. If you're a fan of Madlib, if you're a fan of MF Doom, if you like Jel, Danger Mouse, if you like Organised Konfusion, totally worth checking out this album. Prince Pose, The Slickness came out in 2004 on Lex Records.